Introduction to the Indian Knowledge System, Overview, Vedic Corpus and Philosophy, Character, Scope. Introduction to the Indian Knowledge System. Indian Knowledge System comprises the rich of a diverse knowledge tradition in India. IKS provides a various fields including the philosophy, science, arts and spirituals. Understanding of the IKS provides insight into the holistic, the worldwide internet of the Indian culture. Historical context of IKS. The roots of IKS can be tracked back to the Asian civilization to the Indian subcontinent. The various of the scholars contribute to the development of a preservation of a knowledge system. IKS reflects the dynamic interplay between traditional and modern throughout the history. Overview of the IKS components. IKS encompasses practices and oral tradition passed down through the generation. The key components include the Vedic corpus, Ayurveda, Yoga, various arts. Each component contributes uniquely to the understanding the knowledge and the existence. The Vedic corpus. Introduction. The Vedic corpus forms the foundation of the Indian spiritual and the philosophy of the thought. It consisting of the four primary texts Rig Veda, Samaveda, and Atharvana Veda. The Vedas encompass the rituals and the philosophy teaching the center to the IKS. Structure of the Vedic corpus. The Vedas are divided into four sections: Samhitas, Brahmanas, and the Upanishads. Each section serves their distinct purposes from the rituals to the philosophy discourses. The Upanishads in a particularly focus on the deep extensions and the spiritual knowledge. Importance of the Vedas. The Vedas are considered the oldest and the scripture in Indian history. They provide the insight of the early Indian society, culture, and worldview. The teaching of the Vedas continue to the influence of the contemporary practices and the philosophies. Vedic philosophy. In the Vedic philosophy, empathizes the concepts such as a dharma is a duty, karma is a action, and moksha is a liberty. These principles guide the ethical living and the spiritual growth in the individual. The exploration of a reality, self, and universal is the significant focus of the Vedic thought. Philosophical schools in IKS. The various philosophical schools emerged from the Veda thought, including the Vedanta and Samyukta. Each school offers the distinct interpretation of the reality, conclusion, and the existence. The diversity of the school showcases the richness of the intellectual discourse in IKS. The role of a logic in a IKS. The logic plays a crucial role in a physiological debates and the discussion in a IKS. Indian logic developed the sophisticated system and revealed in the Western logic. Understanding these systems is essential for the appreciating the depth of the IKS. IKS and the science. IKS includes the various significant traditions such as the Ayurveda and astrology. These systems are developed using the empirical observation and logical reasoning. The integration of a science and spiritual is the unique aspect of the IKS. The Indian knowledge system is generic parts of the encompasses the knowledge obsessed in the envelope of the India. It includes the mathematics, science and technology, medicine and astrology and architectures. Ayurveda in a traditional knowledge system. Ayurveda is an Asian system of the medicine rooted in the Vedic corpus. It emphasizes the holistic approach to health, balancing the body, mind, and the spirit. The principles of the Ayurveda continue to inform the modern health practice to worldwide. Yoga, the spiritual and the physical practice. Yoga is a practice application of the Vedic teachings focus on the self realization. It incorporates the physical poses and meditation and the ethical precipitations. The global popularity of the yoga highlights its relevance in the contemporary wellness. The knowledge is the awareness of a fact and the familiarity with the individuals and the situation or the practice skill. The knowledge affects also called the position of the knowledge is for the characteristic for truly distinction of the guess the work by the justification of the knowledge. Oral traditional in a IKS. Oral traditional have play a role in a transmission of knowledge in a IKS. Stories, charts, and flow convey physiological concepts and their cultural values. The preservation of these tradition underscores the importance of the memory and the storytelling. In the Indian knowledge system, the preservation of the cultural knowledge, the spoken words, and the stories and the performance. These the traditional are the transmitting the history, beliefs, and the values and the practice from one generation to the next generation without the absence of the writing the documentation. Challenges facing IKS today. Globalization poses the challenges to the preservation and practice of the IKS. There is a risk of a dilution and a misinterpretation of the traditional knowledge system. Efforts are needed to realization and adapt the IKS for the future generation. In the Indian knowledge system faces several challenges, including the lack of a structure framework, standardization, and the modern day-by-day relevance. The resource constraints, the language, and research efforts related to the IKS. IKS in education. Integrating the IKS into educational can the deeper understanding of the culture. Educational can help the bridge the gap between the traditional and modern education and the knowledge. Promoting the IKS in schools encourage the critical thinking and the holistic learning.